A business plan is a series of documents, segments of information, and an outline of a plan of action put down on paper so that a new business entrepreneur can follow. There are many plan templates available on books, on the internet, from various government and small entities, and each one has a very good outline that one can use. The business entrepreneur should be willing to explore several different templates before beginning the building of a business plan process. In this segment, our topic is time management. Time management is an extremely important aspect in the business world. Time can be considered a friend and an ally that helps us to do most important things to make our business a success. Likewise, time can be an enemy and a foe that fosters poor success because the important parts of the business do not get done. Time management is a center hub in the operations of most any business. It can be likened to money, only time cannot be easily seen or kept on a shelf, returned if lost, or saved for another moment. Time management starts by asking the question, how much are you worth an hour? This is not to be confused with how much you are being paid an hour, as you will never be paid what you are worth. Each person is worth at least twice the amount that they are paid, and once that is attained on a regular basis, the worth is substantially increased. To understand better a person's worth, let's look at time management from a different point of view. Compare how many hours it takes to bring in enough money to cover all the expenses and costs during a period of time, say 1 month. Let's use the service business as an example. Suppose a business provides a service at a specific rate per hour. How many billable hours at that specific rate does it take to cover all the costs and expenses in a month? Suppose a home-based computer business has a total of $6,000 in all expenses, which also includes the owner's salary. Let's consider the business owner's charges at a rate of $100 per hour. Through simple math, by dividing $6,000 by $100 per hour, it shows that the business owner would have to have 60 billable hours that were paid to break even for each month. Fluctuating rates are also easy to figure. Suppose the business owner charges $100 the first hour and $50 every additional hour. One then goes to an average hourly rate by estimating the total amount of time it takes for a sales call during a month or two, and then averaging individual amounts charged. Suppose the average sales charge is 3 hours, and the total billable amount then would be $200. $100 for the first hour, and $50 for the second, and $50 for the third. We would then divide 200 by 3 hours and get an average $67 per hour sales. Again, if all costs and expenses, including the owner's salary, were $6,000 per month, then $67 average per hour is divided into $6,000, which would indicate a total of 89.5 billable hours paid would be needed to break even. Suppose a computer programmer undertakes $1,000 projects with an estimated 20 hours to complete. How many projects would be needed to break even, and how many hours would it take in a month's time? We would divide $6,000 by $1,000 for each project, which would indicate that we would be required to do 6 projects completed in a month. 6 projects times 20 hours equal a total of 120 hours per month to break even. Service work that is billed on an hourly basis is easy to figure. However, in retail sales, there may not be as clear a picture to figure the break-even amount of time unless one breaks the time down to more manageable hours. In retail sales, We first estimate an average sales amount per customer based on past history. Suppose a convenience store makes an average $10 per individual sale and on average makes 5 sales per hour. That would be a $50 gross sales per hour. Dividing $50 into $6,000 total expense, it would take 150 hours to break even. However, $50 gross sales are not the true amount because of the cost of goods to replace them. If the cost of goods is 50%, the actual dollar sales changes from $50 down to $25, with the $25 going to replace the items that were sold. Now, when we divide 25 into $6,000, it will take 240 hours a month. The business owner would need to ask themselves if there is enough time per month in generating a break-even amount. In 1 month's time, there are 28 to 31 days per month. In a week's time, there are 7 days per week, with each day having only 24 hours per day. Breaking that further down, there are a total of 168 hours in a week. If the business is a one-person shop, it is highly doubtful that owner will work more than 12 to 14 hours a day for any length of time and still be alert and fully awake. Most business owners can maintain a 12 to 14-hour work schedule, but their personal life suffers. One must keep in mind that the 12 to 14 hours a business owner spends per day does not always equate to sales. There are times that the business owner is not directly making sales, but indirectly maintaining the business. These might include paying bills, fixing machines, purchasing new inventory, discussing marketing and advertisement, or seeking professional persons such as attorneys, accountants, and others and discussing the flow of their business. There is also drive time to and from the business, as well as calamity days, which could be floods or snows or storms, that may eat into valuable money producing time. A successful business owner knows that there are both direct sales times and indirect non-sales producing times. That is why time management becomes a very important part of the business. Successful business owners highly value monetary budgets. The business owner should know what amounts of money are required each month and at the start of each month. Likewise, the owner should also know how many hours it will take to break even with anticipated sales. The business owner should be aware of the amount of non-sales generating hours that indirectly lead to sales but do not generate monies directly. Therefore, a business owner should also budget their time with flexibility built in. The business owner should keep present the times of each week that generate the optimum sales and the times of the week that do not. The owner should budget his time with different direct and indirect categories and follow the time plan as best as possible. The owner should keep general time records of activities each day and review how his or her time is being used. Business owners see themselves as professionals who have well in hand control over their time while at work. However, business owners may be amazed that when they do keep time records, how much time is being spent in non-productive activities that do not result in sales. Time management is budgeting the amount of time one is worth an hour. If one is worth $100 an hour, then the activities each hour that have been undertaken should likewise reflect that amount. A business owner should visually plan out their workday the beginning of each day, casually refer to it throughout the day. The point to remember is that the business owner is worth much an hour. The business owner should plan out their day, budgeting allotted time and making sales, keeping track of how much they use non-productive time, and congratulating themselves at the end of each day for their successes. Our next segment, segment 9, is on marketing and advertisement plans. Thank you for listening.